Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a New York City legend who earned his names and game because nothing was given to him. He is a graphics arts high school and Milford Academy prep great. Listen, man, he was so highly touted by major universities, he chose to play ball at the Rucker and declined an offer to play basketball at Miami University of Florida. He played 1 year at Fordham University under legendary coach Bob Hill, bringing that Rucker-style basketball to Fordham. After 1 year, he went on to play at Riverside Community College. Not able to stay eligible, he left school to make his bones in street ball. This basketball head will go on to win 5 out of 6 EBC Rucker championships, which garnered him a few nicknames that still stands to the day. Who can forget Whole Lot of Game, Hollywood A, and of course, A-BUTTA. So, without further ado, help me welcome to the show, New York City legend, Adrian, A-BUTTA, Whole Lot of Game, Hollywood A, Walton.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's up, man?
Yo, what's good, baby? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yo, let me tell you something, brother. I've been wanting to get at you for a minute. Like I said, kind of have to spread this thing out. You should know you have your own podcast as well. We want to talk about that.
That's what's up, man.
Know what I'm saying? But I want to jump right into it because I saw you was somewhere legendary yesterday.
Yeah. I was courtside. I was ringside.
Yo, fam, I'm jumping right into this, right? We're going to save the basketball stuff for later. We're going to talk Dipset and the Locks right now, fam. You know, a lot of them came to see you play, so it's only right for you to go courtside and be a spectator. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but not only that, Cameron is my cousin. I'm Dipset for life. You know, that's my
family. Hey, listen.
No matter what, I'm always Dipset. You know what I'm saying? But me and Jada is mad cool. Jada got a certain type of love for me, a lot of respect for me. So you already know. I already knew what he was coming to do. You know what I'm saying? They had a great camaraderie together. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I could say, being there live and in person, DJs matter. You know what I'm saying? You and your DJ got to be in sync together. You know what I mean? I don't know. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Like, the playlist wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Like, the audibles wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt, you know, my side, you know, the set side they didn't come back like the way that they could have came back because, you know, the music is there. You know what I mean? But overall, you know, my opinion, overall, New York as usual, you know what I'm saying? They bring that energy, you know what I'm saying? We come with that energy, and I was just excited to see that in person, you know what I'm saying? Two sides collide like that, man, and now they getting ready to go on the road and get money together, you know what I'm saying? Like, do more after shows, more after parties, a lot of different things together. So it was a great look, you know what I mean? Good way to bring some energy back to New York and, you know, try to at least start to take these lyrics to another level. You know, you never know what these guys may be doing.
If anything, right, it's a win for New York City, right?
Always.
And also, it shows the younger guys a little something different. Okay, so I just think it's preparation for hip hop future, for people to see that at its rarest form, and what you said, the DJ is so important, especially when you're performing live.
But I think it's more of Timberland and Swiss Beats being smart on how to pay people homage today for all the work that they put in, and then you can be able to take this from looking at the views and looking at, you know, what noise, you can be able to go on tours and do shows from that. A lot of these people would just still be sitting around. So I'm saying just to even be called for versus is monumental in itself, because there's a lot of opportunities that could come from that that is exposure and being on that platform. You always got to show love to the platform. You know what I mean? That's why Rucker Park and EBC will always get love from me, because that platform, you know, I haven't seen a platform like it yet.
No doubt. And it's been around before you and I were born. You know what I'm saying? So dudes is doing this for eons, and to see you come in, you know, bring everything full circle, man, is awesome. You know, and I run into you the other day and seeing all the legends there. Let me tell you something, fam. I was watching guys to see their reaction and how they show love to the guys who came before them. You was one of the loudest guys in the park when it came to paying homage to those guys who came before you. So that was one of the things I get over to A.
Nah, that's the love that I get. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real humble dude. I used to be, you know, my nickname is Hollywood. So being from Harlem, I'm very flashy and flamboyant, but I'm a real humble dude. And, you know, I walk around. I just named my last daughter. She'll be 5 months. She turns 5 months tomorrow. Her name is Love. I walk around and just show a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people every day, all I try to do is do things to make sure that God get the glory from it. You know what I'm saying? And I know that love kind of like conquers a lot. So I've learned how to, you know, become more within myself with love and peace. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that this world could take you off track with. So I try to stay real focused at, you know, showing love and showing peace. And I know if I'm able to do that, it'll be reciprocated somehow, some way. Sometimes it don't come from the people that we think it should, but at the end of the day, you know, it's all up to how God want to show it, how God want to give it to you, because it's all part of his plan anyway.
For real, man. We gonna make some love for love right now. We gonna make some noise. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday, Love.
I appreciate it.
Daddy loves you. We all got love for you.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
Respect, man. Let me tell you something, man. It's nothing like dads with their little girls, man. I'll tell you, my best friend, he has 2 little girls.
Yeah.
And my dude got the backbone of 3 armies. But his little girl, what? Crumble in a minute. Stop everything in a minute. So I know love.
I'll show you it real quick. Put it back in there real quick. I'll make sure I show y'all her real quick. She'll be 5 months tomorrow.
Oh, man, this is awesome. Oh, wow. Beautiful, man.
What's up, Love?
She's just chilling.
You say hi? Say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's dope, man. Yo, much love, brother. Much love.
That's love.
Salute. Real men do real things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my baby.
Respect. All right, we're going to jump right into this, man.
Who
introduced you to the game?
Say it again.
Who introduced you to the game?
Who introduced me to the game? I would say Nate Tiny Archibald influenced me in the game. I went to IS 275 when I was younger, PS 175 in Harlem. I didn't realize he was my gym coach until I got older and found out who he was. So if there was somebody that I could say that influenced me to play starting in junior high school, I would say Nate Tiny Archibald and Donald Bird. Both that was the other gym coach name. But from there it was the guy from around my block, rest in peace. He passed away.
Hold on. We're going to get him love because I want to make sure we spread this out. You said you just glanced over that? This don't happen normal when a kid walks into junior high school as a Hall of Famer as a gym teacher. You don't know who the hell he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is so huge.
I was young, and like I said, at the time, as you get older, you start to do your research and stuff. And like I said, you know, knowing who Tiny Archibald is, you would wonder why he didn't go to a school in the Bronx. Like, why would he be a gym coach, a gym teacher in Harlem? So, you know, as I got older, to remember back and to realize what people started me off when I was in school, I played flag football. You know what I'm saying? I was in the neighborhood just with that type of energy. Flag football, just doing things like that. Baseball, like not really knowing about basketball. Like there at 275, 175 is where I really like was taught how to play. Like play like this, go lay up like this, like go shoot like this. And once I was taught that from my block, when I was about 14, 15, I started to play for St. Mark's. That was a AAU team that was in my neighborhood that was coached by Lexus, rest in peace, a guy by the name of Lex and Turtle, those guys in the neighborhood.
Coach Turtle?
Yeah, Coach Turtle that's still out here today. Right?
Let me tell you, brother. Let me tell you a quick story. I interviewed John Arnold. John is going through the people who kind of introduced him to the game as well. You mentioned Coach Turtle. He's like, this guy named Coach Turtle. When kids see him, they wouldn't think he has the knowledge that he has because they just judging everything on appearance. I'm doing my normal thing. I'm walking from Gaucho Gym to 145th Park. He's in there. Mind you, I don't know who he is. I just see an old man working two kids out.
That's
and
right.
I asked him, I said, excuse me, I'm coming to, get some footage of the park. Do you mind? I'm going to the other end of the court. He said, no, young man, go ahead. I said, you working these guys out? I said, by the way, I'm Glenn Harding. He said, I'm Coach Turtle. It blew me away. Because I never met the man before, only in knowing, right?
That's right.
And you see how God kind of steered me in his way. We chopped it up for a minute, and it changed everything. So when I saw him again, it was nothing but love, right? For all the people that he helped.
These guys,
he started coaching at 14.
They coached a lot of guys at a young age that, like I said, when we were young, you were happy to have those kind of people to, at least put you in spaces and give you an opportunity. So it's like I always try to give back and pay homage to the people that, you know what I'm saying, I know really helped started me, you know what I'm saying, playing basketball. You know what I mean? The Tony Rosas and people like that in my life, like they deserve those type of praises and stuff from me because they gave me a different type of motivation to want to play basketball, you know what I mean, and take it serious.
That's awesome, man. All right. Well, we're going to talk about the first game, right? And on the AAU team. How was your experience during the first game? Do you remember?
Which was Gauchos or Riverside?
No, the first game you played in with referees that was serious.
Oh man, that's kind of like taking me back because I really don't remember the first game. But first time playing basketball, I mean, I can't really give you specifically that game, but I would say to you, like, the first time me ever really playing basketball where I felt like I was nervous and encountered was Rucker. I never really played nowhere, like, any tournaments and stuff. I never really felt nervous. If I ever felt nervous, it was about the first time ever playing in Rucker. That's the first time I ever really felt like, hey, I'm getting ready to play. The year before, because I saw what I saw, I didn't play at 16. So I waited until I was 17, turning 18, because the year before, just seeing all those people on the gate and realizing I could play, but I'm not really like that. Like, you got to deal and hear with all of that and these people seeing you. So I kind of like waited until I got a year older and went away and went to school and got a little stronger to where basketball just became natural, you know. Growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in, I turn the corner, I'll walk into Big L, I walk down the street, rest in peace. I mean, if I walk down the street, I'll walk into Mace. If I walk one more block to the left, I'll walk into Cameron. 2 more blocks down, I'll probably walk into Dame Dash and Jay-Z's chilling on 42nd. So I kind of like grew up around celebrities and stars without even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? So to us, when it come to basketball, that shit was everywhere. It just came natural to us because it was everywhere. It was just a matter of how much you was going to be a rugrat in the gym and take it to another level. You know what I mean?
When you looked at basketball from a younger age and perspective, was it more entertainment to you? Like giving people a good experience?
Yeah, it was more about the people for me. I mean, when you think about me and my game and who I am, you probably would know a whole lot of game before you know Adrian that went to Fordham. You know what I'm saying? Like I really wasn't doing what I was doing in the street in Fordham. Wasn't that it couldn't translate. Sometimes you just gotta get with the right coach to be able to still showcase that. I wasn't utilized that way by the coach when I was accepted there, but I know I went to that school for other reasons anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like I took the bag. I grew up watching Blue Chip, so I needed the money. You know what I'm saying? I had a kid. I took that bag. You know what I mean? But when you look at it, when you look back after, you know, telling the truth, you know what I'm saying? It's like I say those things to make sure that the next generation understand that you threw away a bigger bag of a future just for that little bag at a moment. You understand what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense to the next generation. But, you know, it didn't, at the time, the struggle and looking at where I was coming from and everything that I was around, I started to chase the money because, you know, I was getting paid to play basketball. You know what I mean? And that kind of like changed my passion. I wouldn't go and play nowhere if I didn't get paid. So I kind of like missed out sometimes on opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So I always look back at, you know, from when I started, it didn't really pan out, you know what I mean, making those type of decisions when it came to, you know, taking the money over really understanding and loving my passion, you know what I mean?
Yo, that's so well said. And I think you're one of the only guys that kind of mentioned that. You know, I had guys on here talking about they got money for playing and this amount of money for playing, but never talk about the retributions of that.
I don't know. When we get our opportunities to talk, we always kind of like highlight the good things and the things that we feel like, you know, I want to say brag about, but you can't really brag too much about anything if it's not something that you helping the next generation be able to prosper from as well too. So I try not to say too much that if it's not beneficial for the next generation to feed off of, then you know what I mean? I don't get no points for what I've already done. You know what I'm saying? So I try to make sure that the things that I'm saying, I understand what I've been through, and if what I've been through, if I can't tell you the real part about, you know, a lot of my decision makings, whether it get me a standing ovation or it gets a kid to be able to think twice about what he's getting ready to do, one or the other, it got to be a lesson or something. You know what I mean? It got to be something in there for the people when I'm involved. You know what I mean? So I try to just always be as authentic as I can to make sure that I let the next generation know that it may be cool to chase after the money, but, you know, they say the money is the root of all evil. And, you know, if you chase the passion, the money comes with it. But if you chase the money, then you wind up losing your passion. So it makes sense when you think about it. You know what I mean? Well
said, my brother. Well said. You know, why did you choose to go to graphic arts? You know, you got Manhattan Center, you got St. Ray's uptown, you got Rice uptown.
I'm from poverty, bro. I'm from really, really poverty. I'm from Harlem, like the middle of Harlem, 138th, 139th, and 7th. So my moms didn't have that kind of money for me to get no scholarship, pay for me to go to Rice High School. I really wanted to go to Rice High School growing up. I kind of like, I wouldn't say envy those guys, but I've always admired, you know, everybody. If you ever notice them in my career, I've always spoke highly of Rice High School players because I seen the brotherhood that was there. I grew up in Harlem, you know what I mean? And it was something about that they was teaching over there within their players, their guys, that you could just feel that energy whenever you was around them. I grew up around Kev Bell, you know, Guy Saunders, Gary Saunders. I grew up around a lot of guys, Bronski, a lot of guys that went to that school, Raymond Bryant, G-Mo, you know what I'm saying? But the one thing that I realized about, I wasn't really into basketball going into high school, but I played it. So it was like, I wasn't thinking about going to no school, you know, based off of my basketball skills. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I still was fresh. Like, if anybody that knows me, I didn't play basketball when I was 8, 9, or 10. I started playing basketball, like I said, when I got into junior high school, probably around 12, 13 years old. After playing for St. Mark's, if you wanted to get that kind of exposure, and I started to see how good I was getting playing at graphic arts, I wound up playing for Gauchos. Gauchos gave me that opportunity to like teach and be free and still showcase your talent. But then it was when I went to Riverside where I learned structure. So, you know, it's good to have talent, but it was the structure part that I needed because, you know, you didn't want to play street ball all your life, but you do got to understand how to run plays and things of that nature. And, you know, Riverside was a little more on point about structure than Gauchos was. So Riverside gave me that structure part when I went there, to where when I went to graphic arts, it was like I kind of like was already prepared and understood how to play ball. You know what I'm saying? But my talent, it was like, I ain't see that fit for me. That's when I got the opportunity by Mr. Leutch to pay for me to go to Milford Academy. And I went away to prep school, and that's where everything changed for me. You know, like me being able to get away from the city and finally, as a young kid, have an opportunity to be able to just work on my game at any time. Like, I made the coach, for the first time, a coach gave me the key, and I was able to go to the gym 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, whenever I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I got an opportunity to get strong and just really like chase my dream. And when I came back to New York at the age of 17, things changed, baby. I wasn't a kid anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'll be listening to a lot of guys' stories playing basketball and stuff. And then, you know, a lot of guys, they always got these stories where they telling you about how nice they was before they was like 17, and they was killing people at 16 and 15 and 13. And no disrespect to the guys that was nice when you was 8 to 16, but I hope you know we was kids. Nobody was men yet. Nobody had strength yet. Nobody was fully strong and understanding basketball. So it's like, I don't want to disrespect niggas that, you know, felt like they were good biddies or super biddy players until they got the midgets and juniors. But I hope you understand, you disrespecting the people that went on. You disrespecting the people that kept going, whether they started at juniors or seniors and then they played unlimited and so forth. But just because you didn't really play on and on unlimited, because these would be the stories. They started hustling, or they didn't take basketball serious, or they got locked up, or the street life. Like, we all didn't come from poverty. I'm just saying, like, we all make choices, but it'd be killing me how I have this thing when it comes to basketball that there are the 3 C's. And I feel like everybody that laced their sneakers up, that played basketball, we all have a resume. And on your resume, if you don't have a career of consistency against competition, I'm going to look at those 3. Like, I played in Rucker Park when I was 17 years old, that you knew I played against Vince Carter. right?
Yep.
And my nickname was 357 because I played in Rucker for 7 years. My first 7 years, I went to the championship 5 times. I won 3. So that was a nickname for me, 357.
Oh, so I got the 5 out of 6 wrong. Okay, it was 3 out of 7. Okay.
No, I got 5 championships. I'm just saying, I got 5 championships, and I did go to the championship 6 times. What I'm saying to you in my career, but what I'm saying is my first 7 years in Rucker, from 17 to 24, I went to the championship 5 times, and I won 3. You see what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So
no doubt.
If you're just saying 7 years, if that's not a career against consistency, of having consistency against competition, and it ain't like when I played for Tony Rosa or when I played for Fat Joe, I don't give a fuck if he had Kareem Reed, Stephon Marbury, Al Harrington. I still was that nigga. It didn't matter who I played with. Charles Jones, Lenny Cook, Lamont Jones. Always remember, my nickname was a whole lot of games, so it didn't matter to me when guys be talking to me about how, like I said, just this whole, you can't keep going after high school, and then when you look at everybody's career, wherever it was at, whether you played overseas, there's levels to everything. Yep. At the time when I played at Rucker, there was McDonald's All-Americans. There were NBA players. They were all type, Baron Davis. They were all type of people coming to play in Rucker Park. So all I'm saying is at 17, I got an opportunity to play against competition and had consistency against them on a level where it was being nationally televised. Like, I've never seen Sports Center go nowhere, no other tournament. I'm 40, so I'm just saying, I haven't seen none of these tournaments. No disrespect to Drew Lee, Dykeman, none of them. But I haven't seen them on ESPN or none of that yet. I've seen them here and there with specials, but I haven't seen these people going there nationally televising like what was going on at Rucker. So for a person to tell me like, yo, you know, well, your only career was like, I guess, you know, you're talking about Rucker Park. Well, shit, Kobe Bryant played, rest in peace, at Rucker Park. He wanted to play there. Michael Jordan came to play there. All types of people wanted to come and play there. So you tell me why I'm not supposed to speak highly about Rucker Park if all of these guys that ever played basketball that we all look up to wanted to come play there. But the beautiful thing is, you see how I'm telling you about all of this?
Yep.
It touches my heart when I saw Vince Carter on Fat Joe's show talking about me. It touches my heart to see Danny Green and all of these guys, when they go talk basketball, they got to talk about me. Why? Real recognize real. They know whether I made it to the league or not. It's a reason why they called me a whole lot of game, man. I don't think you just get a nickname, a whole lot of game for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you got 3, fam. Who the hell gets 3? I'm keeping it real. Like, I know a few dudes, maybe 2, 1.5, not 3. I don't know one dude that got 3 nicknames from this ball.
And now, that's another thing that I take from Harlem. Character. You switch. I was always taught to have different characters. So it's like, you might see me, and the way that you see me play is the reason why you call me Butter, because it's like, I'm doing it fancy for the crowd. I'm doing it fancy for the people that I know is watching. But that's the same character that I got in the way that I dress. So, like, my socks, my underwears, my lighter has to all match. Like, even my lighter has to match my clothes. I might not drink something that day if the soda bottle don't match the clothes. I'm just that real particular and specific. Why? Because I know people be watching me. You get what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, people seen that about me. The reason why they understand why those nicknames go with me. It's just all for different, you know, spaces that you may see me in.
Fact. So, we getting up out of high school, right? Like, what in high school? Let's talk about this. Do you remember your best game in high school to where you was like, you know what? I can go to the next level with this?
Yeah, I went to Bronx Regional. I graduated from Bronx Regional. Even though I went to graphic arts, I left graphic arts after my first year, and I went to Milford Academy. After Milford Academy, I graduated from Bronx Regional. That's an alternative school in the Bronx. I won a high school championship with them as well when I played. I averaged almost a triple-double in Bronx Regional in high school.
That's dope. I wish I could have found that, man.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
a lot of people don't.
I don't care where you do it at. I don't care where you do it at.
You
put up almost a triple-double, and I think sometimes people bypass that, whether it's a charter school, alternative school, whatever it is. If it's not something that they came from, they probably can't understand it. But I've seen the whole spectrum of ball, and knowing that you got basketball players from all over the world, on every corner, on every block.
If you get a chance to Google it, Google is tell you one thing, but I always tell people, if you really did something in this world, man, I don't tell people Google me no more. You can Wikipedia me.
There you go. Right.
I averaged 33 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds. So it's like, I knew that I had to have those kind of numbers because the player that I was looked at playing in coming from prep school and playing in Rucker, Fat Joe came to my graduation. So this was around that time when I was playing with Terror Squad. So I had to have a certain type of game to where I couldn't be a regular looking player when I was in, you get what I'm saying? Alternative school. It's like you can't really be that nice. I feel like whatever level, it don't matter what level you play on, you have to show what level you can play on. So you could be in the D League, nigga, but if you averaging 60 in there, I mean, shit. Like, I know maybe they just not choosing you for whatever reason for the team, but you still averaging 60 on these niggas out here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, and this is, you talked about this earlier. I just want to move back for a minute. As far as guys who get claimed to be like great at 8 years old, 11, 13. When people tell me about, this new sixth grader, he's like nice. It goes in one end out the other because I've seen mainly of those. I've seen dudes who hit their peak at 14. Oh, he's the best in the country at 14, and he's nowhere to be found at 15.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of that goes with the hype, but what I pay attention to is we cut from different cloths because we played against older people. So I think we kind of like getting back to that now. Like I'm kind of seeing like the younger generation playing with the older generation. But for a minute, I was only seeing like a certain core just playing against each other. Like they wouldn't play against older guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like they would only play against themselves. And it's like, that changes the game. When you play against experience, even if you talk to experience, however, there's always something that you can learn. You get what I'm saying? So I kind of like always was keen to that, I've always respected and looked and really like looked and took a lot from my elders, because like a lot of people tell me like I got like an old soul, and it's because I've always listened to be able to make sure that when I'm saying to somebody else, I at least got my due diligence from somewhere else to make sure that it makes sense to the next person. You don't want people to just always say, Nick, that's just your opinion. You see what I'm saying? But if you did enough due diligence to understand where you're getting it from, to understand why you should be passing that off, I just feel like it helps make your case more when you, because if it's always trying to help somebody else, it's always beneficial to have more knowledge of what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And even I think at 17, and you playing in the Rucker with older guys, right? They were way 90% of the guys who come on here learn how to play through the older guards. You know what I'm saying? And you making that transition, getting your body right, and jumping in. Because I'm gonna keep it real. I know a handful of people that played Rucker when they were 17, unlimited, right? Playing in the pros.
Mm-hmm.
And do well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them get like you in the beginning, right? Because in the beginning you didn't want to go on. You was like, "No, I gotta get my shit right before I step on that court."
Or I had to be
in your mind, because all the people on the gates and everything,
exactly.
Right? People don't understand that part, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand. You have to have the physical and the mental. It got to come together. Because if somebody on the sideline yelling, "Yo, hey, brother, we got a rack on your, on this game. If you do good, whatever," and your mind start getting caught up in the money and start worrying about the crowd, you ain't focused.
That's right. That's
right.
For
you to do that at 17 and come out on top, that says a lot, brother.
When I
was
younger, I used to hang with people like Cam. He used to tell me, "Stand for something before I fall for anything." If you ain't talking about you, hey, they're gonna be talking about them. So he always kind of like built inside me like this mentality that, we gotta make sure they know who we are. You know what I'm saying? And I've always done things where I made sure that I was prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like even today, I'm more a little focused on making sure that I'm prepared. But back when I was younger, me being in shape and me playing with the older dudes, knowing that I was playing juniors and seniors, but I'll wait until the unlimited guys came in. That's what helped me get prepared for playing, to be ready for them. Like Herb McGruff and those guys, they used to knock me over.
McGruff played ball?
Yes, man. These guys, when I was younger, they used to play ball, NFL. That's what the crew NFL from 130.
Yeah.
They all, rest in peace, Reg, Big Lee, Big L, all of them used to play basketball in St. Mark's on 138th between Lenox and Fifth Avenue. When I tell you that all of these guys, there was a guy named E. Jordan. He played just like Jordan, bro. I'm trying to tell you this. This is clear as day, man. But these guys used to come in there and it was Final Four, best out, all of them. They used to come just play against each other. 11 to 1 in the morning, 11 to 2, they'd keep the gym. But St. Mark's AAU program was always practicing from 5 in the afternoon until 11 at night every day. And then those older guys got the gym 11 at night to 2 in the morning. I used to go home sometimes at 12 at 1 in the morning, and my father used to either beat me or I get put on punishment. But it was because I wanted to stay to play against them to show them what I learned and how much better I got. You know what I'm saying? That's why I get that kind of love when they see me in the neighborhood. My neighborhood really saw me grow. I used to go to different neighborhoods, play guys one-on-one. Roscoe Biggers, Kendall Prophet, they used to world premiere, Mike McLeod. I played Shamgar when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated on 144th Street in Lenox Gym, inside of Abyssinia Gym. Abo Gym, that's what they call it in Harlem.
How did that go?
I just give you one little short clip, all right? In front of Cameron, Gruff, the whole neighborhood. Ask anybody in Harlem. They have a videotape of this. There's a guy that just checked in on your joint called Behind the Lens TV. He recorded it. He used to have it for $20. But content is king. But long story short, I just give you one of these stories.
Okay.
I kind of was losing the Sham 16-4 or something like that, 16-8. And I kind of hit him with a move, and he kind of touched the floor. And I went to lay the ball up. He fouled me real hard. We was getting ready to fight. They broke it up, but then I told him, I was angry and I'm young. Anywhere you check the ball up, I'm going to shoot from. So now I see what you're doing. Anywhere you check, he was up 16-8. The next thing I know, I was up 26-16. He started fouling me, hitting my arm, and I was shooting from half court. Wherever he checked the ball up, he started fouling me, shooting a three. We get ready to fight again. The game never finished. But just remember what I just told you. The guy name is Tommy Rhines. Tommy is from 140th and Lenox. He does the Big L documentary. But long story short, he has the footage. He was selling the $20 tape, $20 VHS tape in my hood, A-BUTTA versus Shamgar.
We don't make some noise for that.
I was a part of, when he was on the cover of Sports. That was the kind of smoke I wanted when I was younger. Because I knew that they knew them. Omar Cook, Andre Barrett, Kenny Satterfield. I wanted all of that smoke. They all know what's up with me. They all was the man. They was the McDonald's All-American, Talik Brown, BQE. Those guys was those niggas. I couldn't wait to play against them to let them know I was ready. I couldn't. They know. That's why it's such a love and respect there, because what I did to them at Rucker and different tournaments and spaces throughout New York, ISA, the GOAT tournament, all kind of places. Oh man, you different, bro.
Yeah, fam, that's real right there. That is definitely real right there. Wow, who knew that?
It's all true. It's all footage.
I believe you. Listen, trust me. I'm gonna, if you DM me, my guy from behind the lens, please DM me. My guy from Hoop Dreams says salute to the young guys in high school currently playing unlimited and flourishing.
That's right.
Are there many? Are there guys right now? Do you know any young guys that play unlimited and doing their thing? That's in high school.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know, man. I'm out here going to these tournaments. It's good basketball right now in the city. You got to come up to Dykeman.
No, I'm going to make a trip. I go there every summer. This summer has just been real busy. After next week, or this week coming up, I'm definitely going to miss it.
Maybe I need to go to Gersh. I haven't went to Gersh. I went to Hoops in the Sun. I've been to Rucker. But I'm just talking about talent, energy, and vibe-wise. It's Dykeman for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Gotcha.
I'm seeing high school games that I really like to watch. You're showing me some kids that can play. I'm not watching a bunch of turnovers or a bunch of throwing the ball around all day. There's a kid named Boogie Flan. And if I'm not mistaken, Boogie is like one of the top players, 14-year-olds or 16-year-olds in the country. And
where's he from?
When I say he's from New York, but what I'm telling you is like he goes to, if I'm not mistaken, Stepanak. This kid is crazy. I just remember these kids when I was working at after school program, and when they were in elementary.
Wow.
To be able to see where kids is at today. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, the things that I'm involved in today is all about trying to make sure that I make a better day, a better tomorrow for them. You know what I'm saying? Because they deserve opportunities knowing the struggle that we all came from. And I don't think that a lot of us realizing the struggle that we came from, there was a lot of people that did a lot for us to even be where we were at. And I don't know if a lot of us in our time think that we should be, I don't know if we dying with this shit or thinking we're going to keep this shit for ourselves, but we need to be doing a little bit more to make sure that we setting things up for the next generation. I'm just saying that I see a lot of, when it comes to basketball, there's a lot of self-doing.
Yes.
And I feel like whenever you're doing something with someone else, your intentions always should be to help someone else. Like, that's what it should always be about. You and somebody else talking. That's why I said, you hear when I'm talking to you, I try to make sure that the things that I'm saying is influential to the kid that's listening. I don't get no props if me and you just talking and I'm just boosting about myself. You could go read that story if you want to hear that. You get what I'm saying? But if you talking to me, I don't care how I answer the question. It has to be influential to the person that's listening.
Right. We just, it's not really finished yet, but we're working on finishing up our neighborhood park, Brevo Coliseum, which is legendary like the Rucker in Brooklyn.
Okay.
But it's been for years that nobody wanted to get involved. Or I'm not going to say nobody wanted to get involved. The politics and the things around it was keeping people away from it. And starting this platform gave me an opportunity to get that done with my community. And people came out and they all pitched in to get this basketball court back to where it's supposed to be. So those are the kind of things that I want to do with my life and my legacy. When I mentioned my guy Kareem to you today, two people I mentioned. The first person was Carlton Silk Owens. It's my OG from Lincoln.
Okay.
Leading school, Rhode Island University and leader in assists. When I told him who I had on tonight, he's my OG. He's from Brooklyn, Coney Island. He knows exactly who you. He ain't been in New York in years.
Wow.
So when I told him I had A-BUTTA coming on tonight, he was like, "Oh, that's gonna be a good one." You know what I'm saying? And then another extreme, my younger guard, right? Dude that's younger than me. Yo, who you having on tonight? Actually, him and Paul Kane, Fab brother, they was all out.
Paul Kane, okay.
Right. So who you have on tonight? Yeah, I got A-BUTTA on. Oh, woo! You know they thought, cause they know, right?
That's right.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
A-BUTTA, he give it up. So we talking about the three generations of people knowing who you are, how you gave it up, brother. So that's all salute to you and your character. Cause, you know, I know Uptown is Uptown, the Bronx is Bronx, Brooklyn. If you doing it and you ain't been doing it right, we ain't gonna give you the props you deserve.
That's right.
Facts and no facts.
My
guys in the streets don't really care about the flash.
I came up in a golden era. So when I say golden era, I took pride in going at Jamal Tinsley. You know, you got to understand, Jamal Tinsley was called the abuser, and I know he was from Brooklyn, bro. So you gotta be able to have and hold your own against people like that in order for you to get your respect. And that's why I'm saying to you, I appreciate the love and stuff that I get today, because I know that's where it come from. I know people saw with their own eyes me hold my own with the guys that's in New York City that we seen. We congratulate for the levels that they made it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
It don't have nothing to do with me sometimes saying that, well, I was good enough to be in the NBA.
Yeah, I never liked that story. And I never liked the story to tell people, you know, I ain't making because my knee I tore my ACL. I did, but that didn't stop me from making the NBA. Like, I keep it real. I wasn't not in my era. I came up in the Jordan era.
When you get a certain age, you start to understand that sometimes God uses you for different things. And you have your own plan. And I ain't gonna lie, playing basketball into something that I'm doing good, that's something that I wanted. But there's still so much that God used me through when it came through basketball that I'm still so connected to it. Like you asked me what I was at last night. That's still connected and coming from basketball. You understand? Me working with a public trading company today as a director of a community outreach, that all came from basketball. You understand? When I'm opening up my own basketball academy, that all came from basketball. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my connections and the people that I'm getting assigned with my public trading company, they all are basketball people. I've connected so much coming from basketball that sometimes you just have to be able to see how you can be used, because we all got our own visions for our own lives. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But when you start to build with God, God will show you who you really are. You know what I mean? We all have our own, through what we see and what we deal with, we all have our own vision of what we want and who we want to be. But when you start to build with God, he'll show you who you're capable of becoming. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I got more light to. You know what I mean? God started to show me how he could use me still through basketball. And that's the one thing that I'm proud of the most, that I've met so many people from playing through an era that my Rolodex is crazy when it comes to public companies wanting public entities. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm only able to go sideline, side ring, court side because of the people that I know. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, what happens when you start to bring food to a feast? See, you got to understand, the friends that I have, they already got money. They already made it to a level. But what happens when you start to bring money to their table? See, a lot of us coming from poverty, we feel like we have this sense of entitlement to where it's like, people owe us something. So we wind up going to people's tables because they made it and they got a feast, and we just eating, we taking to go, but we not thinking on how to bring more food to a person's table that even has food like that. You understand what I'm saying? And when you learn not to go your whole life, yo, I know such and such, yo, I'm cool with such and such, yo, that don't pay your bills, bro. Your feelings don't pay your bills, so you can know who you want to know. I do a podcast, but I'm not gonna do a podcast all day long just because I know people. If I'm not getting sponsored, then I'm just doing a podcast just to talk. And if you just talking just to talk, eventually podcasting is gonna fade out, bro. People are just not gonna want to just listen to anybody. So if you don't have like no meaning behind what you're doing, I understand mine is where legends never die. Know your history. Why? Because the access of people that I have, you can't just go to Dame Dash house. You can't just go to Cameron's house. You can't just go to Peter Vesey house. You can't just go to these type of people's house. I'm cool with them like that to where I can go to their house. You understand what I'm saying? But if it's not bringing me sponsorship, you get what I'm saying? I'm not sticking too much time into that. Why? Because you still live in America. So it's either you doing labor or you in capitalism. One of the two is whichever one you're doing. And coming from poverty, all they teach us is labor, bro. I'm into capitalism, and that's why I said to you, my Rolodex is too big for me not to capitalize off of the people that I know. Why would I still keep going to work for people? I can bring opportunities to people that I know has already worked for opportunities. Why would I want to sit around and say I know them all my life? And that's where we get short at coming from poverty. We don't have a plan in the hood coming from the hood. We got to start having a plan. And that's one of the first things that I'm doing when I do interviews or I'm around people. This is why people love me, because I'm talking about stuff like this. We got to learn how to start educating ourselves and bridging the gap. We keep our phone in our hand all the time, but look at what we're looking at. Do you understand they came out with an app called Robin Hood? And everybody's excited about it, but do you know it's Robin the Hood? Look at it. It's called Robin Hood. It's really Robin the Hood.
Yo, and there's a show there was a show called Silicon Valley. That kind of before the app even came out, the app that they was working on was called Robin Hood.
It's so crazy. Like, it's so crazy. I'm just something real short because I'm in that world and I'm educated on it. But what I'm saying is, they come out with an app right at the time when the government give us money, as in poverty, I'm saying.
Yes.
And they know that you play with your phone like it's a video game. So your phone is connected to your bank account, which they know you're not going to get a Scottrade or Charles Schwab, because now you got to give that stock trader commission. There's no commission when you're using Robinhood. It's just going straight from your account. Then at that, they don't allow you to get certain stock switches. They won't allow you sometimes to get penny stocks, pink sheet stocks, OTC market stocks. They want you to stay in the dollar stocks and the $5 stocks. We don't have that kind of money to invest. But we think we do when the government done gave us a little. You get what I'm trying to say?
No doubt. My best friend. Yeah.
I'm just saying, but they've been in that field. Them sharks is waiting. They're going to give you a little bit, bro.
My best friend's a stockbroker, and he don't have Robinhood.
Our best bet, and remember, this is what I'm schooling my friends to. Why? Because if you got people that follow you on social media and things, put them on. My stock right now is 49 cents a share, and it's called Altitude. Money symbol ALTD.
Money symbol ALTD?
ALTD. Short for altitude. ALTD. Right? Now, my stock, I was telling people about this stock at 3 cents. Why? Because I knew I was getting ready to get down with the company and I know what I'm capable of doing. And look at what I did. I started off with a company in the beginning to where I got them to get my friends that I got to sign with the company to put them on the advisory board, not on the board of the company, on the advisory board. Why? Because the kind of friends that I got connections that can advise business to the company that they're signed to. And if they got stock in that company, all they doing now is taking their business to a whole nother level because they public entities anyway. You see what I'm saying? Plus, they have access to a different type of public that my public company don't. Why? Because the NBA players, they have a different touch when it comes to media that can be used in a public space. Coming from poverty, we never been around treasury, bro. Think about if we ever had treasury, how much more we could build and what more we could do. See, they always had treasury. I'm going to give you a quick little, you can't tell a rich man what to do because there's a lot of broke people for sale. Now, you could get next to the white man and show him how to do it because when you think about it, look at this country, look at this world. We built this shit, if you're being honest. Yep. When you look at our magic and what we're capable of doing, they follow everything.
Out of here.
They follow everything that we do and they trying to be a part of it. So only thing I'm saying to you is, the one thing that they scared of is an educated black man. All you got to do is go to the table and be ready, meaning know your worth. And that's why I speak highly of God, because God shows you who you are. So where you could go to a table and you could tell them what you gonna get, what you deserve, what you gonna do. And then when you do it, what you think they start to do? You remember what I told you. When you start bringing food to a feast, the hosts start to put a chair there and make sure that the table's open for you. They start to greet you a different way. They start to make sure that you feel a little more welcome and appreciated. You understand what I'm saying?
Definitely.
To me, that's called bridging the gap that we need to be working on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that we got stories to tell, but if we're not utilizing what we've been through to be able to try to shift and help the next generation, none of that shit don't matter, man. I don't care about being a whole lot of game if I can't teach a kid that you ain't just got to make it to the NBA. You ain't just got to be a street ball player that they just call a street ball player. Do you understand? I went 1 year college. I went probably 1 year junior college, another year junior college. Yo, dog, today I'm 40 years old. I got 3 daughters, and I am a director of a public trading company, bro. Think about what I'm saying to you. I come from the street, the bottom, the mud. I make 8 figures a year. On my way to 9. All from what? Ain't got nothing to do with basketball, man. To be honest with you, it's really learning how to build and understand how God is really trying to use all of us. Even with your platform right here, even with us talking, with all of that, like, God is trying to use all of us in a way to be able to make sure that things get better for, you get what I'm saying?
No doubt. I would have never started this. Listen, I never wanted to get on Instagram. If you ask all my friends are surprised that I'm doing this. Right? Because I'm a behind the scenes dude. Right? And I've been in education and coaching for years. And my 2 best friends kept pushing me. It's like, yo, G, you're a guy that you need to be helping people in a different way. I didn't know what they were saying. They kept mentioning basketball, and I never wanted to go back to the ball and kind of beat it because I didn't know what my service would be, right? And what my mission would be. And then another one of my friends at NBC, they're building a studio now. He was telling me about the studio and his vision, and he was like, yo, G, I need your basketball mind. Would you mind starting the show?
Yo, and that's this, right? Now
Right.
watch this. Now watch this, right? Look, isn't it so funny that the things that we normally try to plan, it's the things that we don't plan. We get so much gratitude, and I'm just saying, just look at that.
No, honestly, no. It's the same thing that happened with this park that wasn't fixed in 40 years, and all of a sudden, this platform's created, the park gets fixed, and everybody was trying to fix it, from Fab to the people in the neighborhood. Paul was just telling me today, yo, Paul, what you did was crazy because we were always trying to get this done for the longest. And I said, yo, it wasn't in the plan. It was God's plan. Like, I'm a big believer, fam.
That's right. I like to hear that, man.
Real talk. And, you know, due to vibe and connection, I saw that there was no one collecting and preserving the history of New York City basketball. Mm-hmm. I know one day someone is going to rewrite this history, and they're not going to look like us. They're not going to know you, eh?
That's right. That's right.
They're going to tell your story differently. They're not going to talk about all the prosperity and all the lessons that you're giving these kids just in this conversation, all the game that you're giving.
That's
right. Because you're going to be no more than just a ball player.
That's right. That's what it's about.
You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, you know and I know, as playing basketball, there's more to basketball than just basketball.
Yeah.
And a lot of us think that because of what they portray on TV and social media and what's in our eyes, that this generation that's growing up will believe that they're next. But there's nobody that's really stepping up to show them, but you could be this too, or you could look good as this. And that's all. I just like to be a shining light that show that you ain't got to just believe that there's one way, whether you got to be a ball player, a rapper, or a drug dealer. That's all. It's more than coming from Harlem in poverty than just being one of those three. Let me show you. I live a life of that.
That's so real, man. Like I tell kids this all day. You know, I come from the basketball world, then went into the music world, they got into the education world, and the connections that I made as far as throughout my life with people that's able to, you know, open doors for other people. I've connected so many different people with people, right? Same as you, because we can open those doors. You know what I'm saying? I have a meeting.
Always remember, and always
just opening up a door, like, and be able to open it.
Always remember something too.
Yes.
When you open those doors, just remember that I truly in my heart believe that now, I'm saying now because I had to learn this, like Hollywood being, that's my nickname, for a minute, you know, you be in your own world and stuck to yourself, but this is how beautiful I know God is, and he teaches you this so much, even through your own life, as you just go through your own testimony and see what you deal with and go through on a day-to-day basis. But God provides for you to give. And a lot of us don't even realize that. A lot of us hate to give to others and don't even realize the more you open up, I don't care how you give. I'm not talking always monetary. I'm just saying, whatever giving you give, you don't even realize how God get the glory from that, to where he want to constantly provide for you. Oh, man. If I could pass that off to anybody, that's just the one thing that I'm a firm believer of, realizing how he works, that he's taught me. The more I give, the more I understand why he provides for me. I didn't get it at first because it was like, you know, well, God blesses the child that has his own, right?
Right.
I mean, how am I supposed to always like really think about always giving if you telling me God blesses the child that has his own? And I mean, if we being honest here, this world we live in, everybody ain't playing fair. So how am I to always be really thinking about other people? But that's where live, love, serve comes in. Live every day that the life that God gives you. Why? Because he wakes you up just for you to have another chance at living your life. However you live your life, but live it though, because you've been given one. Love beyond the limits of your prejudices. Why? Because that's his child too. Yo, that's the one thing that I had to learn that was real tough for me. I thought I was protecting myself. I'm not letting you play me or disrespect me, bro. But once God taught me that that was his child too, you know what I learned from that? Loving beyond the limits of my prejudices? Peace.
Right.
God taught me how to have peace over power. Let that person keep that power. You know who's the real power, right?
Right.
I need you to be more at peace. Why? Raise your hand every time. Show me that you could be the bigger person. Why? Because then I know I'm getting the glory. I know you've been listening. And then that's when the pouring starts to come in. Remember what I'm telling you, bro, because this is...
No doubt. Listen, I'm listening to everything you say, brother.
When we learn to... I'm just saying that when we learn to take our time and be a little more disciplined on... Think about this. Respecting our father. I mean, when we say somebody's our father or my friend or somebody that I love, do you go to their house? How much do you go to their house? Do you listen to them? Do you respect them? Do you really abide by what they say? Like, whether anybody's looking, he's always watching. So I'm just saying, if I know that I cheated in high school, I don't cheat no more. I go to school now. Church is school for me. I don't cheat no more. You understand what I'm saying? I listen to the pastor. I listen to the teacher. Why? Because there's so much that I can learn. I take what I can, leave what I don't. Why? Because all I'm trying to do is grow. We all trees. Do you know trees don't just grow up, they grow out? The last one was serve. Live, love, serve. Serve. What I'm doing right now. This interview was supposed to be about me. Look what I'm doing. But this is me. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I wanted the world to know about me now. I know what I was before, but everything that you're seeing now today is because of this. This is what God has done to me. He made me realize something about myself, that I didn't just use you for being this type of player. You had a way with words, Adrian. Do you realize there's a lot of people that you can help because you know how to say it? You know how to get people to feel it? That means more to me than anything that God could use me to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm just saying that's...
I feel it. Not only I hear it.
Something that I know that I can't leave to my kids.
Right.
But they gonna feel it when I'm gone. You feel what I'm saying? It's the fingerprints that I touch when I leave this earth that's gonna make sure my kids is all right, whether I understood how to or not. You understand what I'm saying? Because your dad had a different feeling from me. I had a different vibe for your dad. You know what I mean? That matters to me, man. You know what I mean?
That's real, fam. That's so real. I think once you find yourself in a position of service and you understand it, because I've always tried to in my mind when I was in college, I was always saying, I'm never going back to Brooklyn. I'm never going back to the pain. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mom passed. Got to come back and take care of my nieces. Not coming back. I'm going to take care of them, get through shit, not coming back. Got to come get my sister, take care of her, and then my nephew. And all this time, I'm still trying to run from the service, right? I'm still trying to do me. I'm still like, when is it going to be me time? You get what I'm saying? Not knowing I was put on this earth for something different. Now I understand that. Now, you seeing kids get older and you see them, you had them in 5th grade or you taught them or you was their dean, whatever the case, basketball coach, and all the things that you were running from comes right back in your lap and he's like, nah, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Shout out to Booger, my man Booger, my man
Booger is always on the scene, thank God.
What up, Dun?
Always. Yo,
this
is crazy. Legend. Yes, for sure. So, I see you have pictures of you and Greg Maris. What were some of your fondest memories of the late great legend?
Oh man, Greg Marius, man, he's just an icon. I mean, when I say an icon, you know, Greg Marius basically gave a lot of people the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And Greg Marius was just smart about how to build with the resources that you have, but within yourself, like investing in yourself. And now today is like I got a real. No one owns the rights to those tapes. You can't see none of those footage of the games. You don't see none of that stuff because he made sure that all of that stuff was in the family's name. So all of these companies, everybody, they're going to have to go to the family and eventually have to lease it from them if they ever want to see the Rucker Park tapes ever. You understand what I'm saying? So just looking at how good of a businessman he was, those are the kind of like things that I saw the most from him. It was like one of my greatest moments was just, I live on 7th Avenue. Greg Marius lives between 7th and 8th. He lives right down literally 7 buildings away from me. So it's like, I'm always around Greg. I'm always around his family, but he was like an uncle to me. My family and his family, we all cool, but I never knew I lost a friend until I lost him. Never really knew how important he played in my life until I seen the things that I didn't have anymore, that I didn't realize, that I didn't appreciate, because he was in such a space that would think of me. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people that I grew up with that you really learn to see who a friend is, because a friend thinks of you when you don't, or you least expect it. Like, they understand what it means or what it would do or how it would make another feel. So, you know, to have someone with that type of compassion, but I didn't recognize it at that time, maybe because I was a little young and big-headed, that's why I praise him so much, because that's what hurts me the most, that I didn't embrace that the way that I should have when he was here. You know what I'm saying? There were times that I fought against him because, you know, my mind and my head was so big on making sure that I get paid, and you're the commissioner, and if you don't make sure that, you know, that I was willing to have an enemy that I didn't realize, like I said, until a person was gone, how much of a friend they was in my life. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I try to do today, you know. Even with the business that I'm doing today, I found out that, you know, he has a Greg Marius Foundation. So the guys that I'm getting to sponsor, the kids that go to my basketball academy, if they don't have their own foundation like Danny Green does or Joakim do, they could do it through the Greg Marius Foundation. There's a lot of people that I know that came from Rucker, a lot of celebrities that don't know that Greg had a foundation. And if they're able to help sponsor inner city kids through his foundation to go to a new basketball academy on a resort, you in Florida, you understand what I'm saying? With around the people that I'm getting ready to put on my team.
Is this gonna be year round? Is this gonna be year round or just a basketball academy?
It's gonna be year round, man. You get a chance, Club Med Academies. You know what I'm saying? When you get a chance, check it out. Club Med Academies. It's down in Port St. Lucie. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I had to go and see.
When is your opening? When is your opening, eh? We are planning to open it.
I can't really talk about when it's opening because, like I said, it's all public. So I kind of that'll be what they call inside information. But we on the public, so we could talk about that. Hey, yo, why everybody getting a piece of the pie, nigga? I'm learning the recipe. You see how fast I was on that? Like, yo, nah. We could talk, bro. Hold on.
No. I'm an educator, man, and whatever I can do, man.
You know, I went down to Port St. Lucie in Florida, and like I said, you know, I went. If you never heard of Club Med, you know, this is a resort, and this guy has he has soccer, volleyball, tennis, and golf on a resort. Like, I was watching kids go to canoeing at lunchtime.
Wow.
All I'm saying to you is, just imagine our kids from the inner city having that experience, and all they can do is play basketball. They can't leave that resort. Do you know how many diamonds in the rough that we would make out of this world? But our kids have a lot of distractions, whether it's, you know, after they finish practicing and playing ball all day, they still got to go home and be in their neighborhood. They still got to wake up in their neighborhood. But I'm just saying, when you change their environment and change the spaces, you'll be surprised what we can get out of these kids, especially if you hire from the top down people that, one, God first, two, you know, making sure that you understand family and love, three, you know, we trying to make sure we build togetherness no matter what. You understand what I'm saying? Unity, like those things matter to us being able to help shift the next generation. I don't want to change them. I want to shift them. They deserve to have the drive and the passion that they have. I don't want to change that, because there are things that I don't understand about this time that they do. So I don't want to change anything about them. I just want to shift some things. And as you know, even at your age, there's some things that you still could shift. And when you look at that, I'm just saying, who am I not to listen to the pastor, to a kid, or to anybody when it comes to think about the shift? All it is a narrative. That's all it really is. So all I'm saying is that's what I want to be able to provide. I want to be able to provide a shift in the kid's life to where, damn, you're telling me I get to go ride on the jet ski for 2 hours, and then I got to go back to school, and then I get to go practice, and then I just go back to school, and then I go practice, and then I get to go home for the night. But it's right here. All I gotta do is get my clothes to the housemaid. I mean, to the people, and they washing the clothes for us. Like, you gotta understand that in a Republican state down there, there's a different type of, you get what, like, now that I'm older and I understand all this stuff, it's like, yes, I want to do it for New York, but like I said, while everybody getting a piece of the pie, I'm learning a recipe. I'm going to go down there and I'm building with them, and I'm learning and I'm helping and I'm bringing to the table. But there's going to come a time when I'm going to be able to shift that and bring it back up here. I listen before, you know, we get to the end. Just, you see why I got this hat on? This is where I came from. I listen to these people tell me Gaucho's been an AAU program for 53 years, and they're going to tell me Kimball Walker, Taj Gibson, none of these guys that came from there, they don't want to donate back and do anything for the program.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
But hear me out. Just hear me out, right? Look. And just watch how I say this, because this is why I told you I'm good at my words. Look. You can't be mad at people that's not educated on how to do that. They came from the same walks of life as we did. We can't expect them to know to do that, bro. But what happens when you educate yourself to know how to put them in that position to do that? Now, look, why you want somebody to invest into something that's already getting a bad name, where they saying all you guys are doing is taking and making names off of yourselves off of these kids? Now, what happens if you went to Taj Gibson or Kimball Walker and say to them, we're turning this AAU program into an academy? Who would want to invest into academics? See, you guys keep trying to do all of this, getting this, whatever it is, off of basketball. Why are you not trying to educate our people? Why are we not trying to do things to make sure that the next generation get another level of access of education to take their lives somewhere else other than just basketball? See, we sometimes don't even see what we're doing to them when we should be doing for them. And you doing for them is about your actions, not you talking about somebody else that's doing some actions. Your actions. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I said, you know, I can't do nothing for New York yet until I do it somewhere else. Right. As much and as bad as I want to, I go in,
I get the treasury somewhere else. Just think about what I'm saying to you. We both come from poverty. 1 million shares right now, if the stock is at 50 cents, it's $500,000. 1 million shares at $1. If your stock is at $1, that's $1 million. We not around none of that. Look, if I was to give you just 100,000 shares and the stock right now is at 49 cents, that's $49,000, brother.
Right.
How long do we got to work? A whole year to get that, right? Hey, they had that sent up in 3 days in that world. If you sell 100,000 shares in 3 days, that 49,000 comes to you in 3 days. But we not in that world. Why? Because we not educated. Only 14% of African Americans. Now it's about 35%. But it was only about 14% of African Americans in the stock world. Now it's 35%. And do you think we educated on this? Why? You heard me. I stopped you. We ain't got no inside information. We don't really know what's going on with these companies. We betting off of another nigga telling us that that's good, if we being honest. But what happens when you got a friend that's worked, that's signed with the company? You know the people he's connected to. He's giving you the information and keeping you updated. And you can follow him to see it. And everything is public. Think about what I'm saying to you. I got public entities signed to my public company. And my public company is Altitude.
I'm gonna tell my guy.
Real quick, you got to train to get to.
Sure.
You can only go to Denver or Utah to breathe in altitude air.
Woo! Woo! Tell him about it.
I work for a company that has simulated that. You have to train to get to the top of Mount Everest, which is 32,000 feet. We could push that and change that in a matter of minutes. You could be in a room of 32,000 degree air in a matter of minutes. So that's called simulated altitude, which we're putting in spaces like professional teams.
Right.
The NBA teams, the NFL teams, the mid-major college teams. Why? Because those are the people that's training. It's next level of training. Why? When you go to Denver, you wonder why you get tired fast.
That's right.
Denver don't get tired fast. They breathe that air in all day. Well, what happens if everybody else started to breathe in that air and start training in that air? You don't think you'll be prepared to go and play? Replenishes your red blood cells. But that's altitude. Water. Trident water. Make sure you write that down.
Who?
Trident, like the gum.
Yeah.
There are machines that take humidity out the air and turn it into water. Think about atmospheric water, right? Look. Joakim Noah is an ambassador for the NBA, and the NBA donated $1 billion to do Africa over, to help out in Africa.
Right.
And Joakim Noah is an ambassador, and he's now on the advisory board for my company, where he can be the middleman of doing business with the water machines and the NBA over in Africa. And when that goes public, because of the space and who he is, what do you think that does to the stock? People want to buy in when you're helping change Africa and bringing water to Africa. 850,000 people die in Africa every year. Yo, do you realize that only 600 and some thousand people just died and we called that a pandemic?
Yeah.
Do you realize that 850,000 people die every year from the water crisis in Africa?
Right.
And I'm sitting up here getting ready to help provide water in Africa. Hey, look, I was a street ball player from poverty, and I'm getting ready to be involved with serving water in Africa. All right?
That's real talk. Let's make some noise for that right there.
No one can never tell me God ain't big, man.
That's right. and good at the same time, brother.
Word. Great.
You know, my guy, I'm saying my guy, my best friend, started out working at Source Magazine out of college and then quit that job and been in stockbroker ever since. He's never worked for anyone. And kind of always respected that and made his own rules, right? Definitely going to tell him about what you have going on here.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's special, you know. And it gives guys to think outside of their space in that business mind and that business world that's probably not even available to them or they don't even know about.
Hey, think about this, and I'll just give you one quick one. Make sure this go for all of us when you think about it. Because of who we are, our culture, just think about this. Don't you feel like we all know somebody?
Yeah.
But all I'm saying to you is, we just don't know everybody's motive. And like I said, when you build with God, your motives become better when you go on the tables. You feel me? Yep. And all I'm saying is, why not start to capitalize off of who you know instead of going your whole life saying, I know somebody. You don't, you're not, I know you want the props, maybe the likes, whatever it may be, but
yeah, I don't do it for,
I'm just saying, we all can prosper in our lives off of somebody that we know by helping them be in a better position. Why? Because that opportunity came to us, but it might have been presented to us in order for us to be the connection for them. That's all I'm saying. But use your brain. Don't go your whole life just hanging around people that's successful and you just happy just because you know successful people. Like, you're going to go your whole life saying, I know somebody.
That's my man. That's my man.
That's my homie. How much of your homie or your man, I get it. We never really had success, so we proud of it when we're around it or see it. But what I'm saying is, what happens if you were around that success for a reason to help it grow even more? I'm just saying, we not educating ourselves because we staying stuck and content as if look, that person now owes us something because they made it or they're on another level. We got to change that. I'm just saying that we all have the right to choose and start changing the way that we think instead of having an entitlement mind slave. How can I do and help? And people don't want to think that way because, look, a lot of us have been conditioned that people are trying to fuck us over and hurt us. But when you know what shield God protects you with, and when you hear that God handles your enemies, do you understand the peace you start to live and walk with? Woo-hoo! I'm feeling it even when I just said that to you. Hey, yo, I just scared myself. Hey, yo.
No, you give me the chills over here, eh?
Hey, yo. I'm just saying.
That's real, yo.
Man. Shit.
That's real. That's real, brother.
Sometimes the battle is against yourself, but when you realize that God is in control of all of that, it changes a lot. It's not much you got to do other than continue to grow and be a better person. He knows this. His son already died for half the things you think you're going to do. I'm just saying, you got to be able to show him that I'm growing up. It don't matter when. It don't matter when. That's all I want to keep being a testament to the next generation. You don't have to be a product of your environment when you can grow to be a product of your choices and decisions.
Right.
You gonna blame your environment your whole life? Because I know that's what a lot of us be sounding like. The older we, yo, my block, yo, these niggas from my hood, yo.
That's wasting time. That's wasting time right there.
In other words, stop watering dead spaces, bro. You don't have to water in dead spaces. You could go water in some new dirt. You could go that's all I'm saying. I grew up, I'm growing up a different way. That's all I'm saying. I hear people be saying to me, yo, hey, you got 3 daughters. Oh, God know how to get back to you. What? Obama had 2. Well, what was he doing to Obama? What you trying to tell me? I don't get what people say when they say that. What if he's just blessing me with daughters because the way of the world is changing? Women are starting to get more of their rightful due. So what if he want my daughters to be one of those top women that's in those positions now coming up? Why you gotta paint your fear on me of how you process things?
False evidence appearing real. Fear.
Hey, say it again. Say it one more time.
False evidence appearing real.
There you
Fear.
go. Fear. Thank you. You on
No
the same
doubt.
type of time as me.
No doubt, fam. No doubt. Look, cause this stuff what we're doing right now, I was running from this.
I know.
If it's pushing me, and Paul was like, I used to do DVDs as well, right? Early on, another one of my projects I was doing, and he was like, the fact that I was always behind. I never wanted to be in front. I never wanted to be the guy who's talking. When I'm in front of my classroom or I'm in speaking to the school, people was always paying attention and listening and holding on every word. And I guess God was saying, there's other ways I want you to use your voice. Other ways I want you to use your passion.
Facts.
When something happens in the neighborhood, a kid dies, parents call me to get involved. How can I help make their situation better? What can we do to keep their name alive and direct this energy to the right place? So I realized that my life is of service.
You are being used.
You know what I mean? So now I'm living my truth. Where before I was telling you, I was running from it. I was going for the American dream, and still can have it, but I saw it in a different way, through a different lens, through what everybody else is pushing me out of their fear.
That's right. See?
And we get caught up in that.
Starting to make
Until
sense.
I took off, right? You know, the horses have these flaps. I had to take them off, man, and see the rest of the world. Real talk.
Yep. I respect that.
And look, I connect with someone in a different way. We didn't know each other from this.
Facts.
And I'm quite sure after this, we'll have a bond in the brotherhood that next time we see each other, it's going to be something different.
It'll be on a whole nother level.
Because when we saw each other, we was all love. I was like, yo, bro, I need to, and your energy carried over.
Appreciate that.
Nah, for real, fam. This is real.
But you already, like I said, when you ready, like I know we could get, when you ready, another time if you want to, like I said, if you want to set up to where we get more deep into making sure your fans and stuff know more about my basketball history, I don't mind coming back on here and we talk basketball.
No. I'm coming uptown to hang out with you, fam.
That's all love. You already
That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna do the next step. I'm going to come uptown to hang out with you.
Love.
Like, hey, I'm coming up. Real talk.
You already know.
You're doing just like that.
Being on here, man. Thanks for having me here.
No doubt. I'm going to let you go in a few minutes, but we got to take care of a few more things. A few more things, I'm going to let you go. All right?
My girl looked at me like, yo, the baby. Go ahead, though.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
You said 8 o'clock. It's 9:30. We got the
right
baby now.
about
Go
that.
ahead.
So I'm going to let you go after I say this.
Nah, go ahead. You got a few more. Go ahead. You good. You good.
Top high school, college, and street ballers you played against. All can be professional.
Top high school.
Top
high school player I played against was, I would say at the time, I just feel like when I was playing in high school, it was either Andre Barrett, Kenny Satterfield, or Omar Cook. Talib Brown was good, but he wasn't like them three niggas. You know what I mean? He was just as good as them, but he wasn't the threat to me like those three was. If I'm going to give them their props when we was in high school. Those three guys were very tough to me in high school. College, I would have to say Marvin O'Connor. A lot of people looked at Delonte West, but then it was a Marvin O'Connor that went to St. Joe's that was in the backcourt with him. This kid was tough. Paul McPherson from Chicago was tough. Those were guys in college that I got a chance to play against when I went to Fordham, that I was just like, yeah, these guys is what's his name? Len Greer that went to Temple, left-handed kid. This kid was having like 40s and 50s and all that, man. He was pretty tough. You said NBA after college?
Yeah.
My toughest NBA player, I would say, was Meta World Peace, Jamal Tinsley. Steph wasn't tough for me.
You're like one of the only people I've heard say this.
Yeah, like Steph. Like, look, I'll give you another story. These are
Yeah,
facts.
the kid that played for Sacramento with Chris Webber, the light-skinned kid, Vivi.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw him today talking about how Steph was one of the toughest people we ever played against.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll give you one real quick story. I played with Steph. Fat Joe used to have me with Steph when we played on Terror Squad. For some reason, Steph took a liking to me. Steph used to come to Harlem and pick me up in a silver Bentley and bring me home in a blue Ferrari. And Steph had mad cars when he lived in Jersey. Like, when I say we go in his house, he had like the shit that you see when you on a highway where the cars are stacked up on each other. Like, that's how his garage looked when he was in New Jersey. If I'm not mistaken, Lawrence Frank was his name. He was the third assistant coach for the Nets at the time when Steph was there. He was the guy that was, when me and Steph was working out, he used to be the guy in the middle throwing us the ball, making us run to middle court and get it, and then play one-on-one against each other full court. I say that to you because I literally remember when I was hanging and working out with Steph. I used to dog Steph where that man was asking, yo, who is he? He was like, yo, you can't talk to him. He only in college. I just keep him here with me working out and stuff. He played with me on my Rucker team. But when I say I used to, that's when sometimes, like I said, these stories, when I know I played against Sham and I played against Steph, and these were times and moments when it mattered in front of people, that's where I always felt like I knew guys wasn't like, I knew I was on another level, because the way that they were respected and the things that I knew that they did to get their respect, I kind of like shattered that shit with the way that I played. So I kind of like always had an extra love for myself when it came to, damn, I know why they named me a whole lot of game. Like, I took pride in that. You know what I mean? You had to have a whole lot of game in order for people to respect you with a certain type of love for the level that you didn't make.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And Steph, totally two different games.
Exactly.
So you had to have a whole lot of game because there's two different guards.
Exactly. So I can't give it to him. I would say Vince. I don't really say Vince because Vince, when you look at it, Vince 6'7", I'm 6'1". So, you know, I was just, like I said, I always say the Steph story from when people get a chance when it comes out from the DVD on my own documentary. He said to me, yo, I asked him, why you get on the court guard me? Lenny Cook is on the court. He's #1 player in the country. Charles Jones is the leading scorer for LIU, and he's on my team. Julius Hodge, Charles Jones' brother, Lamar Jones, is on the team. Why, of all the people, you get on the court and you come guard me? Like, but Lonnie Harrell, prime objective from DC, was on his way there with him, telling the nigga about me, like, yo, I know you know those niggas, but is that kid, yo, I'm telling you, you got to guard that kid. He the one, like, he the sleeper one. So when I asked him, why you guarding me, he gonna say to me, hey, man, don't worry about that, man. I'm gonna make you better. See, where I'm from in Harlem, that I felt like he trying to front on me. So I really felt like I needed to show him something. Like, and that's how I took it. That's the only reason why I played that way that day. He used those words to me like, I'm going to make you better. Like, nigga, we both lace our sneakers up the same way. What you mean? You going? So I felt like I had to show him something. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened that it was like, it was killer mode. Like, I work out in Gaucho's gym all the time. So I felt like that day, that was like throwing a quarter in a pond. That's all it felt like.
No. Do you realize? Hold on for a second. Let me switch this up. Do you realize that you Harlem guys, and I say this with all respect, the first dude from Harlem that I knew that wasn't taking no shots from anyone and was quick to let the world know how they feel was Kumo D.
Kumo D?
Kumo D is the father of battle rap.
Okay.
So while Busy B had the crowd and was like the king of New York, one day Kumo D shows up and just destroyed him. And this was like you can go on YouTube if you never heard this battle before. Destroyed him, and this was kind of battle rap started. So all my people that's in battle rap, do your history. Harlem's own Kumo G talked about Busy B, talked about the way he rapped. Same kind of distance, but it was like 80s, early 80s. You know what I'm saying? So for a guy coming up to you and telling you he's going to show you something, a dude from Harlem, I said, you don't do that. It's like, I'm going to show you how to dress. I'm going to show you swag. Huh?
Not supposed to.
Not right.
We take that personal.
Right. Last question. I'm going to let you get out of here. Top 5 ballers from EBC history.
EBC?
I'm not taking you back to the whole rucker. We just talking about, and that's
EBC history?
Yes.
Rafer Alston is a GOAT. I wanted to do, like, Rafer Alston made me feel like I could make it to the NBA. So Rafer Alston, no matter what, to me is a GOAT. That's the era I grew up watching ahead of me. So Rafer Alston, a.k.a. Skip the Malou, he's the #1 on my list. Master Rob. I'm always going to give props to people that I've seen play the game, get love from the game, and coach the game. I don't think that that's easy. You know what I'm saying? And he was a winner in all levels, all 3 of those levels that I just said.
Master Rob played on my AAU team. He was the older guard. See him play in high school. He was a killer.
That's what I'm saying.
Fact.
Shit like that was like,
Broncos. Yep.
Bone, I gotta give it up to Bone Collector. You know, at an era and at a time coming from the West Coast, to want to come be in the East Coast and to be able to still compete. Like, I'm gonna always give props to the guy that still held his own, whether he wasn't winning. Like, as being who I am, and the props that I know that I deserve, because I know I was a winner on top of killing around, being surrounded around other nice niggas. Sometimes it's hard for me to give props to a nigga that I know he type was tough, but if he wasn't winning, he can't be that tough. You get what I'm saying? But I can't ignore what Bone Collector was doing when it came to making his name. Like, he made his name in the golden era against people winning or losing or not, but he did make his name, you know what I'm saying? So I got to give Bone props, you know what I'm saying? So I got those 3. I mean, without a doubt, I'm just letting you know I have to put the last 2 on my list, because I have to put the last 2 on my list. They both passed away, but 4th goes to Ali Mo. Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Ali Mo. I never seen nobody at 6'8". Wow, that's a dope picture, bro.
That's you, man.
I never seen nobody doing the things that I saw at 6'8", like Ali Mo was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just with the handle and his charisma behind his handle, it stole a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And last but not least, man, rest in peace to my man John Strickland. I don't think nobody was more of an entertainer with my own eyes that I've seen of John Strickland, a.k.a. Baby Panda, a.k.a. the franchise. You know what I'm saying? What I saw, entertainment like that coming from him, he inspired me to make sure that I know to always don't never forget to do it for the people. Like, I know we out here and we doing it, but if you're able to do it for the people within getting it done, just look at how they respond. And I got an opportunity and chance to see that at a young age happening for him, that made me inspired to want that for myself. You know what I'm saying? Salute
and salute to Ali Mo, man. For sure,
rest
man.
In peace to my guys. Word.
New York legends for real. Well, I'm about to let you go out of here, man. I'm going to send that picture to you. And when I get up, I'm going to bring it up to you. You know what I'm saying?
Love, I appreciate that.
I'm going to forward it to you. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Keep doing God's work, man, because that's what you're doing, man.
You know, first and foremost, you know that.
No doubt.
Anytime, holla. Love.
All right. Praise to the kids, man. Thank you, Wifey, for letting them, talk to me for a little bit. Appreciate you.
That's love, man. You know that.
All right.
Holla. Love.
Yeah. Man. when you open up and get into a mind of a New York City legend, A-BUTTA, Hollywood A, whole lot of games, whatever you want to call him, make sure you call him his real name first, and then put those others in the middle. It's the Adrian Walton. From the outside looking in, you will probably never think all the great things that's coming out of this guy's, or going in and going through this guy's mind. So inspiring. And if you didn't learn anything tonight, you probably wasn't listening. But if you did, take heed. Be able to open doors for other people. Do it with love. But most of all, like my guy A said, and it's so true, put God first, and everything happens. Thank you for joining. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding, and you've been watching Basketball Head, the official home for New York City basketball. Peace.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.